insurance for your property. Whoops.
You start again.
Yeah, he started it. All right,
There
I'll
you
start again. Good morning, everybody. Mark with Allstate Insurance for your property insurance needs. Have a fantastic Super Bowl weekend and Valentine's Day. And if you want to be part of a winning team, come to us because we can cover.
Yay.
I like it.
Good job.
That's awesome.
Love it, love it. So let's go back to Scott, since Scott, you did not get recorded. So let's get you back on, Scott.
All right. I'm gonna sing a song for you. No, just kidding.
Yay.
So, Scott Shimamoto, Journey Mortgage Advisors, and today the big news is there's a 10-year Treasury bond auction, and depending on which way that goes, it's going to affect our mortgage bond mortgage rates. And we're hoping for the best right now, but depending on the how the investors look at inflation, that's going to affect it. The 10-year Treasury bond is not exactly tied to mortgage bond securities, but it's a definite indicator. So so Scott Shimamoto, Journey Mortgage Advisors, thanks for letting us participate and get recorded.
Thank you, Scott. I feel a little depressed now, but it's okay.
We'll be optimistic and hope it goes our way.
Yes, exactly. Thank you so much. And let me see. Participants, who do I have here? I don't have the screen. I'm speaking to you on my cell phone. So how about Angie? Angie, you want to come up?
Sure. Hi, Sylvia. Angie.
Hey there.
Hi, Angie, First American Title. Enjoy your Valentine's Day with all your special ones. Wanted to talk a little bit about covenants, restrictions. Or AKA CC&Rs. We are able to pull them for you. And a lot of times the misconception is that they only apply to condos and PUDs and townhomes. That's not completely accurate. So please let us know. We can check to see if the CC&Rs follow the property. Here to help you grow your business, Angie Tang, First American Title. Thank you.
Thank you. Yay, thank you. Okay, next I see here is Pam. Pam, you're up.
Hi, everybody. I wanted to mention a couple things. One, I want to make sure that you're checking your confirmations. Very, very important. Make sure the closing date is correct. I had a situation, two situations that someone had the closing date is Friday and they really closed on Monday, called in for the rekey, and we don't have it started yet. So they couldn't place that work order. So check your confirmations, make sure we have the buyer's email and cell so we can better service them. And especially the plan, check the plan, make sure it's the plan that you want for your buyer. Very, very important. And if anything needs to be changed, just let me know. Also on the rekey, you can do it as many times as you want. It's not just one time throughout that year. And also the NHD is still $50. A lot of people are taking advantage of this. It's been crazy. So just email me and I can do your NHD for you as well. Make it a great week. Happy Valentine's Day and go Rams.
I have a big Rams fan here too. All right.
I used to be a cheerleader back in the day.
Oh,
okay.
Way
back in the day.
Okay.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. And now I'm going to call our next big cheerleader here. That's John Wax.
Good morning, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Still Gonkei Fat Choi, a few more days. Hope you're having a wonderful new year. I just want to remind you that Snap NHD is the only NHD company to carry the new fire hardening defensive space disclosure and addendum form in the reports. You don't have to search the CAR forms. Also, you can order at time of listing. I recommend you to do so. Have that valuable information at your fingertips. Know whether or not they're going to have to spend additional monies on insurances because it's in that higher fire area or it's in a flood zone or any one of the other zones. And it has the full complete tax report, including Belarus and 1915 and the PACE Hero information. And I'm a consultant, been in the business over 27 years, so I'm here to help you all the way through the transaction. And I'm inviting you personally to come to my Everything You Want to Know About NHD class tomorrow at 2. It's putting disclosures into perspective. And if you want your NHDs right on, please call John.
Beautiful. Thank you, John. Appreciate that. Next I see here is Nancy. Nancy, you're up.
Good morning, CB Dynasty family. Nancy Chan, lawyer side. John, you're young. This is my 41st year in the business. You know what? I'm not retiring. All my experience and everything could help you with your transactions. I do want to emphasize that you need to start farming because inventory is all-time low, and that's why your buyers cannot find property. Sit down with me or give me a call. We can talk about how you're going to increase your business. That's what I'm here for. Solving the problem is easy for me because I've been doing it for 40 years. But getting your business is also very important. So Nancy Chan, Lawyer's Title, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. I'm not retiring. Thank you.
Thank you for reiterating that, Nancy. We don't want you to retire, but you brought up a good point. I see I've been getting back into the farming mode because that's something that we need to, as a little realtor hamster, keep our little wheel going. So appreciate that. So next who I see here is Brandon. Brandon, you're up.
Good morning, Sylvia. Good morning, guys. Hope everyone is having a fantastic start of the year, the Lunar New Year. And I wanted to wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day and go Rams. Make some Cincinnati chili out of those Bengals. And and on the NHD side of things, I just wanted to remind you guys that we are on that car drop down now. So to make it easy, and you can call, text me, email me. You can call our customer service line to order. It's whatever is the easiest for you to get that information. And if you have any questions, I'm always available. Even if you have specific questions on the geological sites, we do have a geology team that would be happy to do a call with you guys. So have a fantastic week and look forward to seeing you guys next week.
Perfect. Appreciate that. Thank you. Good to know you have a geology team. Always a good reminder. And next who I see here is Nicole. Nicole, you're up.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for allowing us to be a part of your meeting. Happy Wednesday. Nicole Menard, Fidelity National Title. Let us help you get back on that wheel, as Sylvia said, for farming. We have many different options to help you, the traditional, the calling, the door knocking, the mailing, as well as getting more exposure through social media. So give me a call if I can help, 626-688-6425, and I put it in the chat. Have a fantastic rest of the week and a fabulous Super Bowl and Valentine's weekend. Thanks.
Thank you. That is so true. El Día de los Corazones, big heart day. Thank you. Let me see who else I have here. I'm scrolling up. I don't see any photos. So I'm looking at all the names. And Sandy.
Yeah, I could go. This is Unita.
Oh, Unita. Okay, you go. And then Sandy Franco after you.
Great. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Unita Wu from Home Warranty of America, your 13 months home warranty. I do want to remind everybody, please use my YW@hwahomewarranty.com to email me because the other email's address has been discontinued. So I just want to make sure you guys get the correct email address because I've been notified that some of you guys sent me email, but I did not receive it. So I just want to confirm that. I will put it on the chat as well, the correct email address. And if you need any home warranty, we're still 13 months here. We're here to help you. And let me know how can I be able to be helped. Thank you again. Have a wonderful day.
Appreciate that. Thank you. Sandy, you're up.
Good morning, everyone. I just want to follow up with what everyone else said. It looks like California is going to skip the rest of winter. So now is a fabulous time to go out and farm your area. If you need door hangers or the bags, I can deliver them to the office. I can send them to your house. Whatever is best for you is what I'll do. And so go Rams, like big time go Rams. And Valentine's Day is actually my oldest son's birthday. So he'll be 28 on Valentine's Day. So it stopped being a holiday for me 28 years ago. And I think that's the last time I got roses on Valentine's Day because it's just Tino's birthday. So have a great weekend, everyone.
Thank you. Well, it's time your son brings mom roses. That's beautiful. Okay. Did I miss anyone? Is there anyone else that has not spoken that's an affiliate?
Yes, Sylvia, this is Annie.
Go ahead, I'll go
Annie.
after.
Hey, Annie. Welcome, Annie.
Okay. Happy Wednesday. This is Annie Fan, Chicago Title. I want to share with you a title tip is extremely important. This is the case I'm working on. So we just closed a deal. And if you are, it doesn't matter if you're the listing agent or the buyer agent, if you have a properties in Azusa, nearby the Rosedale, you needed to pay special attention on the prelim. Because if it's with a Lennar and they have this Lennar Charity Foundation, which means the seller, when they sell the properties, they have to pay about 0.5% times the sales price as a charitable donation. And escrow needs to draw demand. So this case, in my case, was escrow didn't, draw demand, and we let it slide. So this case is going to go to a claim. So it's just going to show you that it is extremely important that you needed to work with the reputable companies, and then the escrow to help you when you have a situation like this. So this is the month of love. So I have to say, I love working with this office. I love working with my clients. I love referrals. I love new business opportunities, and I love closing your deals. I love being your title rep, and thank you for your business.
Oh, there's a lot of loves in there, and it's perfect because we're an agency with a lot of heart. So appreciate that. Thank you. Anyone else out there besides Annie that I may have missed? I'm scrolling up and down the list.
Hi, Sylvia. This is Sage Gomez. This is my first Zoom with you guys, so I appreciate being here. Sage Gomez with my NHG. A little bit about my NHG. We're 10 million E&O insurance, so we have your back all the way. In our terms and conditions, we protect the broker, the realtor, the transaction coordinator, the escrow company, and the seller. And out of all the years that we've been around, we've never had a claim. However, we have that information, we have that in our terms and conditions because we want to protect you no matter what. Also, we provide a tool that if you say you're looking at a listing or something's not on the market yet, or before you go into escrow, and you're curious if that property is in a flood or fire zone, my NHG would provide a tool that we can tell you whether or not that property is in a flood or fire zone without ordering an NHG. Or even if you're curious about your own property, just give me a call or a text and I can tell you within seconds if that certain property that you're curious about is in a flood or fire zone. So other than that, I hope that everyone has a great Valentine's Day weekend, a great Super Bowl weekend, and I really appreciate being here. So thank you so much.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Sage, and welcome as your first meeting here to an agency with a lot of heart. As you can see, everyone here has an abundance of love. So thank you for joining us. Is there anyone else? Any other affiliate out
Jason
there?
with Property ID.
Perfect. Hey, Jason.
Hey,
You're
how's
up.
it going, everybody?
Pretty
Hey,
good.
how's it going, everybody? Jason with Property ID, been around for about 50 years. We specialize in the natural hazard disclosure report. Have a great insurance coverage that covers anything that could affect the your buyers, your sellers, everybody, along with anybody that's involved in the transaction. Also, when you're get a new listing, call me right away, and I like to send you over the report. No charge if it cancels or anything, but that way we can get a head start on any of the defensible space requirements. I'll show you how to complete the documents and how to request a meeting with CAL FIRE. It's super easy. Right on our documents, we have a little link you can click on to schedule a meeting with CAL FIRE to get a head start on that. Call me right away so I can help you do that and explain the defensible space requirements that you need to do. Also, give me a call if you're doing anything with an ADU. There's been a lot of issues and some new lawsuits being created because of Proposition it's 8, 9, and 10. And in the NHD report, order it right away. There's some things you need to know in there about the local disclosures that could actually stop an ADU from being built. Call me right away, Jason with Property ID, and I'll put my phone number and email address in the chat zone. Thanks, everybody. I can't hear you.
Okay,
We're good.
perfect. For that, I really appreciate that. And that's a very interesting topic. You all have some great information. Is there anyone else here that I may have? No?
I think that's
Going
it.
once, twice? Okay, I'm going to hand it over to Kelvin. Kelvin, you're up.
All right, everyone. I hope you all enjoyed your Happy New Year's. It's a lot of exciting things going on. It's a start to a new year, everyone. And I'm just happy to please be here in front of you guys. And I'm thankful that you have joined us at our sales meeting. So got a lot of news, announcements, and updates to share with you again for this week's edition of the news of what's going on in real estate. So just wanted to kind of give you a little update what's going on since the last 2 weeks we've met at the sales meeting. But I'm just curious, how are you guys feeling about what's going on in the real estate market? Is anyone feeling like it's hotter than before, same, or slowing down? Anybody have any comments? So I can tell you, we are really facing a serious listing inventory situation. There's a short supply. And that's truly what's compelling a lot of these buyers right now to throw a strong offer at the seller, okay? Because there's really not much they can look at. If you're on the market to buy a property right now, you got 3 options, maybe 4 options in the cities that you're wanting to look at. And based upon, every territory, every city is a little bit different, but there's not much in your range to look at. That is really compelling the strongest driver of what's causing such high prices and valuations, and a lot of single families and a lot of the sales right now going on today. And yes, it's the same story it was last year, but it's a little bit different now, okay? And the little bit difference going on right now is that when you couple the inflation of going on right now, because this is now a year after all of the stimulus and CARES Act and a lot of the money that's been circulating in the economy, now everyone's felt it, has it in their bank account, they've spent a lot of money. People relatively right now seem to, for the most part, seem to have a little bit more disposable income to work with. And so if you have that disposable income, they can afford to throw another $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 above what they were willing to pay. And it is still a very strong market for the sellers, okay? Now, when you ask me as an economist, where do I forecast 2022 going on? That really depends. It's so hard to tell you how it is because we cannot forecast exactly when the Fed will raise the interest rates. Many of the news reports that I'm seeing right now are telling me that even if the Fed raises the interest rates another 1/4% or 0.5%, coming in March or April, then that still will not slow down the price activity, okay? It's a marginal increase to the historical low interest rates. Even if they increase at 0.5%, it's still really good interest rates right now. We're borrowing at 3.5%, maybe 3.75%, and that's still very affordable to many borrowers. So I don't think that rate hike will significantly have a negative impact on home valuations. It's really the supply issue. The good news is there is a lot more supply that's being worked on. So we have a lot of builders that are searching for properties. They are looking and acquiring and have a little bit more what you call a friendly approach towards finding and acquiring developments. So there is more units being built, but there is a high amount of construction costs that they have to face. And that's also the second issue that's coupling why price evaluations are going to still remain relatively high for LA County. Because if I'm a builder and I got to go buy a bunch of lumber and steel and all of these goods from overseas and imported materials, stones, even as simple as a small thing called paint, everything has gone up. So the paint itself, I'm hearing reports recently that's saying that even paint manufacturers are having trouble fulfilling all of the colors in their spectrum because of they're having these little pigments that they import from all these different countries, and it's a lot more harder and expensive to get. So they're cutting out some of the colors in their paint color swabs that you can have a choice of 1,000 colors. Maybe you can only get 700 nowadays because of the inventory is they're not making and producing all this new paint. So what does that mean for us as consumers and for the public? It's telling us that the builders are only going to build if they can make a profit or if they can forecast a profit. And when their cost to build increase, they're going to have to pass it on to the consumer. Okay. So the consumers, unfortunately, if you haven't bought yet, it still looks like it's going to be tight inventory for the relatively short term. And unless we start seeing a lot more people building their ADUs and a lot more people really developing their properties to maximize, but there's still so many limitations to building. It's so tough to get your permits and plans and designs approved by the cities. and it's hard to get an appointment with them. So you have delays. So there's a lot of redneck going on, a bottleneck going on in many different areas. Not only is it just, once you got the city approval, you might have to wait months before you want to get a certain product or a certain light fixture or materials. So sourcing is going to continue to be a big supply chain issue for the foreseeable future. So that's kind of how I feel, on what's going on in this relatively the next 6 months of how I see the market. Because all of a sudden in LA County, there's no new land being built. Okay, so there's not going to be not much more supply. This is the time. If you had a client who's wanting to sell their property and take advantage of the market, get a good price for the property, I'd say for the next 3 months, this is the time to put it on the market. Okay, so if you have any clients, give them that consultation, give them that brief, and that's just what I feel. If you have any comments on that, let's go ahead and really just focus on the market data, keep a pulse on the market. You could probably see the caravan sheets, look at the new listings. There's not much on the MLS sheets. I encourage you to have a hot sheet on your MLS and really follow certain neighborhoods that you're working. So that way you're really sharp and knowing what's going on in different territories. Any questions on that before I start going into my slides? You guys see my slides okay?
Yeah, Kelvin, can I jump in? Hey there.
Yeah.
I wanted to share that I was pretty amazed over a caravan at the AAR. There was like 9 listings, which felt like a lot considering. And we also had, a large attendance. We grew from like a dozen to almost 60.
Oh, wow.
So what that says to me is that the realtors are hungry. They're out there, they're looking, they need inventory for their clients. I know in our office, I have some of the agents that don't normally come all the time, and they're coming into my office asking me, are there any listings? Are any listings? Because I need some for my buyers. I need some for my buyers. So yeah, the hunger is out there for listings.
It is. So do the community a favor, do the caravan a favor, do yourself a favor and your family. Go get listings this year. Okay. You'll enjoy your business as a listing agent right now. So yeah, Year of the Tiger. It's supposed to be a lot of babies are expected this year. I do know there's been a lot of tiger babies out there. I had several friends that are pregnant, and we also have some agents who are pregnant this year. So wish them a lot of good luck. These brave tigers are going to be hopefully very successful, and just want to wish all of you guys to please continue to keep each other safe, prevent the spread, and wear your mask while you're in the office. That's really the main ask that we have for all of you guys here that come to really enjoy the community that yesterday I was here at the office. We had a full house, parking lot was full, and I was just very excited to see that everyone was just, being very respectful and kind of enjoying and catching up. And lastly, I can tell you, for those of you guys, a building update for the Temple City office. Finally, our roof got repaired this last week. So if you guys noticed, the roofer was up there making some noise and redoing our flat roof. So that's good news on that case, on that front. Just want to remind you, if you ordered your free at-home COVID test from the USPS post office or from the government website called covidtest.gov, they should have already arrived at your mail. And for those of you with children at home, many of these schools are going to be asking and using you guys to turn in a negative test every single week. So for myself and my family, we used it. It came just in time so that we could provide our weekly negative tests to the school. So continue to, I forgot the limit. I don't know if anyone knows, but I think you can order more later on. But take advantage of these free at-home kits. Okay, you can order them at different stores as well, but they are effective and they work for the schools. So just want to wish.
Kelvin,
Yeah, go ahead.
Kelvin, I'll let you know, Target also selling those tests.
Yeah, I think it's like 2 for $15 or $20 or something. I don't know what it was. Yeah.
Very low. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect.
As you can see from my Zoom background and from the slide right here, I'm very excited to see our Rams, our LA
Go
Rams
Rams.
are hitting the Super Bowl. So this weekend, they're going to be playing on probably one of the most highly watched network activity going on in this year. Very excited to see a very talented team really enter the Super Bowl this year. So our Rams are very strong, and I have confidence that they're going to pull us through and win the Lombardi Trophy. But make sure you watch it, enjoy the commercials, and make it a family time or a community time to really just, catch up on sports and watch great talent. But really why I had this slide up here is, I had the pleasure and the honor to be invited to one of the suites at SoFi Stadium. So I personally got to witness this beautifully well-constructed designed stadium. You can have, every seat is great. If you've been there, you can really see that even if you're in the nosebleeds, it has a pretty good view. And one of my relatives actually worked on this SoFi Stadium, so in construction. So he was telling me a lot about what's going on and so how much concrete they poured and these pillars and posts for this kind of high open ceiling. Everything is really cool about what I learned about it. So if you do have a time to check out SoFi Stadium, there is maybe next season. It's gonna, don't be near the this section of town this weekend. It's gonna be hectic, crowded, traffic. So I just watch it from home, okay, or go to the local bar. We got John Wax coming up, so very excited to have him on tomorrow, 2 p.m. joining us and sharing about putting disclosures into perspective. When do you really need to order this Snap NHD? When do you really have to, who's responsible for the payment? What can we do? What's the difference between this and a tax report? What the hell is this fire hardening disclosure statement? Let this company and their paperwork take care of a lot of the explanation for you. There is a requirement for single families that are near a high or very high fire severity zone that they have to disclose whether there's been any measures by the owners to have taken to prevent spread of fire, combustible materials, and or letting the buyers know of the requirements, because they will be facing higher insurance costs for fire insurance premiums and what the purpose of the environmental is. It is important to get an environmental in certain situations, because wouldn't you like to know if there's a gas station that used to be on your property or maybe within a couple blocks from your property that could be contaminating your soil? Did you know there could be a gas leak as there was in Porter Ranch? And wouldn't it be important to know that how it might impact yourself, or perhaps different types of environmental hazards and issues? Those are important things in certain areas, especially if you don't know the territory. So take a note, the order, flood hazards, that happens sometimes. We are going to be having crazier and crazier climatic weather due to global warming. I don't know if you guys notice it, but the weather is not the same as it was in decades ago when I was growing up. We have a lot more extreme weather, it's a lot more cold, a lot more hot. So that's just that's the reasons why you get great insurance policy. That's why you do great reports, to really just understand what you're buying. Our sales meetings for the next month, 2 weeks from now, February 23rd, will be the next sales meeting. Next week on February 15th, I'll have my Keys for Success class. Hope you guys can join. We'll send out the links again shortly. And just want to get you the calendar in front of you and the affiliates, so you guys can really just put this on your calendar and join us, because I love having all of the participation. You guys have been really great at this since last year, adapting to Zoom meetings. By any chance, how many of you guys want to have live sales meetings? Does anyone really strongly want to get back into the classroom? Because I actually do.
I do.
Yeah. All right. I'm curious, because I love to have live meetings too. I actually work better live than having to fumble around with slides and do all this stuff. But
Me too.
Up to you guys. We might do something of a hybrid, just like the schools. Check out the AAR website for other great classes or West End Gable website too. Every week they're putting on good content. So we do have another RPA and understanding the differences. So if you want to take a free class, there's one next week as well. And this one teaches about zip forms. There's been some changes to zip forms, guys. Some form names have changed. Not only has the RPA changed, but they've tweak different areas and rename certain things. So don't be scared or worried. It's not a significant difference. It's just a change of name or a change of format. I'll cover a spotlight of various forms that are rarely or not rarely used. I'll say that are not as frequently used. So that way we can kind of keep ourselves fresh. So I know someone said, can we spotlight a few forms here and there? So I'll be happy to fill out and show you demonstrations of properly filled out different forms that we don't come across as frequently. So I'll explain it and how you guys like to hear it. And if you are going into jump into commercial this year, that's also another arena that is a highly lucrative area if you're looking into finding properties for your clients, businesses, and companies. There's still a lot of things going on. There's a lot of retail that's suffering still that might need to be finding new tenants or selling, and there's a lot of buildings that are dilapidated and or obsolete and not maximized to the fullest and highest potential. So there's a lot more people looking to sell their commercial buildings and just looking to escape and take advantage of the price and maybe 1031 exchange. So I have classes recordings that you can click on these links here. And these slides are found inside the Dynasty Agent resources. These videos are available as well if you want to watch it in your own time, the new RPA taught by attorneys. And this is the first spotlight of one of the forms that I just wanted to show you. And I didn't fill this one out. It's kind of blank. Did you guys see this really quick? Or do I got to stop? Let me stop this real quick. There is a form called the AEA. Okay, it looks like an addendum. And some people ask me a question like, Kelvin, how do this is what you would use, because there was a situation where a borrower was negotiating repairs and this client wanted a credit from the seller, which is normal. And in this situation, they wanted, let's say, I think it was $7,000 for a bunch of repairs. Okay, that's normal. Okay, they put down $7,000 for repairs to the property. They wanted 1, 2, and 3 things fixed. Something like the air conditioning and the heater, and had a bunch of other stuff. In the long story short, the lender saw the request for repairs. They saw a lot of things needed to the property, and the lender kind of raised a flag on these. What are these repairs for? Okay, so my answer to you is, a lot of times when you write down these addendum number 1 or the addendums, and you show the lender, they're going to see that's for a certain amount of repairs. It could trigger them to ask more questions and or not get the loan approved quickly. So what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to negotiate this on the side, and maybe the final end result, you're supposed to show that the repairs is for the buyer's recurring and non-recurring closing costs. Okay, so once you've completed your repairs requests, you could do an alternative method. Some people use Form RR. Okay, that's great. That's proper. But you can also try a new approach, which is using the amendment to existing agreement. What the difference is that this is a agreement proposal, AEA, that's just like a request. It's an offer, it's a proposal, it's a way to solve, here's an idea to solve our issue, and it expires in 3 days. Okay, the RR, it kind of lasts indefinitely until something is signed or until the seller sends you a counter RR. But with the AEA, the benefit is you could write an addendum like, hey, the buyer has an issue with the loan. The lender wants to that we want to have $7,000 worth of repairs requested from the seller, but we don't want the seller to do the work. So we'll go ahead and propose for a seller to give us $7,000 for 5 issues: the heater, the air conditioning, the electrical, and the leak. Okay, we'll take care of it after close of escrow, but we really need this credit for X and Y, Z reasons. And we are thankful for the seller to consider our request proposal. And if we can come to terms on our AEA proposal, we'll put it together on the RR, okay, and finalize it. The difference is the AEA does not need to be shown to the lenders. So you can have your discussions, you can have your conversations about what it's for, you can have counter proposals going back and forth. Then when you finalize your agreement with the sellers and the parties, the buyer, then you go ahead and just put the end result on the RR that is $7,000 towards buyer's recurring and non-recurring closing costs. You can send that, you can send it to the lender, you can send it to the escrow, and then that will be blessed and shouldn't trigger the lender to ask further questions, what it's for. Very simple, okay? The other idea is, what is the difference between a $7,000 credit to the non-recurring closing costs versus a price reduction? Does anyone know what the difference, $7,000 to the buyer? Well, I can tell you there is a difference, okay? A credit to the buyer's recurring and non-recurring closing costs means that there has to be $7,000 worth of credits of closing costs and non-recurring closing costs. And if you have a very small transaction, let's say it's only a $60,000 purchase price, you probably won't reach $7,000 worth of closing costs. Okay, your lender charges are going to be minimal, your escrow fees are going to be minimal, and the buyer only really has maybe they're buying cash. They don't even have what's called the lender's endorsement for PMI. So if the buyer doesn't have $7,000 worth of closing costs, technically speaking, the other party, the seller, doesn't have to give the full amount if there's not even $7,000 worth of closing costs. It's only $4,000 worth. That extra $3,000 technically doesn't not to be given. Okay. Now, if you reduce the purchase price, that's a different story. Okay, because then that helps the buyer reduce the purchase price, so it's all fully captured on the price wise. Okay. Some people say, but then Kelvin, that reduces the commission. Okay, yeah, it does. $7,000 worth, but when you take 2% or 2.5% or 3% or whatever it is that you're being offered, it's not that significant. Okay, how does this impact the buyer? If you reduce the purchase price, it gives them a slightly relatively lower cost basis when it's factoring the property tax rate. Slightly better maybe on various different factors, but in the long term, if that buyer is looking to buy for a long time, it is good to have that purchase price lowered, because the tax rate is usually based on the sales price. That's called the market price. However, if this property has a lot of room for, and this is, it's insignificant when you're really talking about less than $5,000 worth of repairs, but when you're talking about 50 grand worth of repairs or credit towards closing costs, putting that onto the sales price could have significant impacts to the parties. A buyer getting a 50,000 price reduction, that helps not only the property tax, it might help with the premiums, it might help with getting their loan approved. But some borrowers want in the purchase price. Can anyone think of a reason why the buyer wants to have a higher price? Well, it's tough, but I can tell you maybe they want a higher price because maybe they intend to sell in the near future. Okay, and instead of getting that $50,000 towards a price reduction, they want to keep the price and rather have more towards credits or repairs or whatnot. And that's because they can reduce the amount of tax liability, because there'll be less capital gains when you have a higher property tax. The other factor that they think about is if they have a higher price, the buyer, maybe they want to borrow more. Okay, because if they're going to get 80% financing, they want to keep more reserves on their for repairs and renovations. It's okay to borrow more, so they rather have that 50,000 instead of it, applied to the price. Okay, for the seller, it's pretty obvious. They'll have less capital gains if you lower the property tax. If you lower the property price, there's different things. I'm just kind of explaining to you that maybe we're going too far in detail in the weeds. Anyway, so just use this. There's a lot of different pros and cons. If you want to know more, just give me a call or text, and I can kind of share with you why I'm kind of thinking for both parties, because I do a lot of that as a broker. I have to think about both parties, and so there's a there's a lot of advantages, but I'm not a tax preparer. So please talk to your own tax CPA. That's probably the best. That's the best response you should give to your clients. Okay, but you can
Best
tell them
advice.
exactly. But you talk to them, and then you can give them some ideas or questions to ask their CPA. Does it benefit me to have a higher sales price or not? Because for a seller, if it really depends whether or not that married couple is fully capturing that $500,000 capital gains exclusion. If there's room, great, that's a fine. If they're way beyond it and there's $1 million of capital gains, then they're all trying to lower their tax liability. So that's it for that. Any questions? All right, too much. Okay, let me go back into this. Okay, here we are, found it. Now, this is important, guys. This is gonna take a long time. LA County recently just extended right at the end of January, another protection for LA County tenants. So there is in place eviction protections that is extended now for phase 1, which lasts until the end of May 31st, and beginning on June 1st, 2022, we're gonna have phase 2. I unfortunately, let me go ahead and pull this up because I gotta talk about the article. One second, guys. I have so many windows open. Okay. All right, I'll bring up the article and then we'll talk about this in detail, but it is very important. So when we have eviction protections right now in place for LA County, first of all, a lot of landlords are asking, and a lot of new buyers are asking this question to you as the realtor. I want to move in, I just bought my house, the tenant is still there. How do I be able to enjoy my own property that I just recently purchased? Okay. And they'll ask you other questions like, this tenant's not paying rent. How do I get them out so I can get market rent? I want a new tenant. The third thing they're going to ask you is, oh, they're violating or breaching my contract. Okay. They have too many people there, or they have they have pets, or whatever it is. There's a lot of frustrated landlords out there trying to figure out what the heck they can do with their property, what's legal, what's non-legal. And obviously we always say, you got to check with the property manager, you got to check with your whether it's a city jurisdiction, whether there's tenant protections in place, whether they're covered under the LA County eviction protection or the statewide rent control under AB 1482. Then you got to ask them questions like, oh, is this city LA? Is this unincorporated area of LA? Oh my God, this is such an annoying thing for us to be as realtors, but here, let me just break this down for you and let's figure this out together. All right, non-payment of rent, okay? There's different things and there's key dates to understand. I want to share with you, this is something obviously where February 1st in place, it has been extended. Now, LA County, this is speaking specifically towards LA County. There's something called a no fault eviction. When the tenants done, just think of this as when the tenant did nothing wrong, they still pay their rent, yet the landlord wants to remove them or displace them because they want to do something like moving in with immediate family members, taking it off the rental market, or doing extensive renovation. Extensive renovation is not something like paint. Extensive renovation is something that maybe has to pull a permit, like a roof, electrical, replumbing, something, adding square footage or whatnot. Okay, that's, or taking removing a wall. So without this extension in place, okay, if the LA County Board of Supervisors did not extend this, so many tenants would have been displaced. Okay, that's what this causing the Board of Supervisors to go ahead and continue more tenant protections. So they're trying to protect the no fault eviction people, the people who've done nothing wrong. So what is going on? They're saying that the eviction protections do return for those who cannot pay rent. Okay. Now, the people who are not paying rent, they do have this duty right here. And I have a chart that I'm going to show you in a second. So there's starting on April 1st, there's a non-payment of rent starting here that's a little bit stronger as compared to the past. Let me show you the chart. It's going to make a lot more sense than this article. I wanted to, here we go. So now we know a little bit about what's going on. There's a chart right here. You guys can see this one right here. All right, so here is from the LA County, how we can look at phase one, okay? Because May 31st is one of the significant dates. So what if you fall under the umbrella of what's called the unincorporated area of LA County? You have something here called the rent increase freeze, okay? So if you're in city of LA or unincorporated area of LA, okay, and this applies to you, you can't raise the rent this year as a landlord. Okay, you got to freeze your rent, even if you have under market rents. You also have to, they have no fault eviction reasons. So there's protections in place. So you can't just evict them unless you have a qualified owner move-in eviction. Okay, and notice there's a little #1 asterisk right here. Okay, I'll explain that in a second. Even if they're doing a nuisance or they have unauthorized people living there, like a significant other, boyfriend, girlfriend, or a mother-in-law, or pets, okay, they still have these protections in place during phase one of the LA County Tenant Protections Resolution. If they deny entry to the landlord, or for the landlord's desire to do a property building inspection, annual inspection, or if the landlord wants to make an appointment for a repair, and or if they're trying to show it to prospective buyers because it's put it on the market. That is protection in place still up until May 31st. Now, landlords need to be cautious. Do not harass your tenant. Do not retaliate for them. So there's a lot of people, landlords, who get so fed up and angry because they're not paying rent, and they're really handcuffed at the mercy of the tenant willingly paying their rent or being a good tenant. But a lot of times there's a couple of people out there who have disputes, fights, verbal arguments, physical arguments and fights. I can tell you there's a lot of stuff going on. So that's staying the same. We do not want to have, and if this applies to you, we don't want to be messing up or doing anything to the tenants that are at no fault. But what's being added is until April 1st, 2022, eviction protections for the non-payment of rents, people who have COVID hardship, okay, they're covered now in this protection as well. Okay, COVID hardships, non-payment of rent, and whatnot. What's going away? It's the non-payment of rent eviction protections for commercial tenants. That's expired on January 31st, 2022. So commercial tenants not paying, landlords do now have the ability to take action against their commercial tenant. Okay. Now there's a phase two being introduced to us of kind of like kind of like softly getting back into a normal market where the removing full protections. So phase 2 opens up a little bit more. And this rent increase freeze from June 1st, 2022 to December 31st, 2022, there's a situation where there's new pass-through or charges that could be allowed towards the rent freeze for these areas that are unincorporated, meaning there's some other ways that the landlord could pass through additional cost of property ownership onto their tenant. One of them would be, for example, if you have a rental property in the city of LA, if you have a rental property in San Bernardino, like I do, if you have I have to do what's called or city of Azusa, I have to go do a freaking business license just to be a landlord, guys. And so if I have a business license that requires me to annually pay a fee to be a landlord, I don't know why California does this, but unfortunately we have to register our name, let them know we're a landlord, and then we got to pay fees to have the license to be a landlord. That's a thing that I could technically pass through to my tenants and make them pay for it, because if they want to have, and that's separate from the rent annually. Okay, so that's one example of a pass-through charge to the tenant. It could be other things related to utilities or insurance or coverages. So talk to your property manager about what you can or cannot pass through, so that way you can get away with getting a little bit more income with while there still is protections in place, because there's a rent freeze. Anyway, okay. Now there's another question. Right now, there is a prohibiting the enforcement of a personal guarantee for people who are commercial tenants for rents incurred on or before January 31st, 2022. Okay, so if you don't know what that means many tenants, their businesses suffered terribly and they couldn't get supply chain issues, or they couldn't have any product to sell. So they've been forced to pay rent, and or maybe they're delinquent in their commercial rent and it's accrued for 5-6 months plus. Okay, many of these tenants have a personal guarantee in place because a lot of startup businesses or new businesses that they sign whatever they want pre-pandemic just so that they can get the space. And so the personal guarantees were not allowed to be enforced or used prior to January 31st, but now they can. Okay, now some of these commercial landlords might go after personal guarantees because they haven't gotten their commercial rents. Effective June 1st, 2022, if you purchased a property June 30th, 2021, there are requirements. Okay, let me start with here. What's being added? Now, if the effective on June 1st, 2022, okay, and your tenant is, if your tenant falls under the category of being affected with COVID, or their household income is at or below the average median income, 80% or below, they still have protections, even if they're not paying their rent. If their income is 100% or greater than 80% of the average median income, then that disqualifies them from the protections, and the landlord might be able to evict them or displace them so that they can move in. It depends when that owner purchased the property. They should have purchased the property by June 30th, 2021 and earlier. If they purchased it June 30th earlier last year, then those requirements, and they have to satisfy all of them, then they can satisfy and proceed on June 1st. This buyer who bought last year now can finally move in. But they need to make sure that tenant does not have a very, very low income AMI, 80% of that. And they also got to make sure that they, they might even have to displace them and give them some sort of a moving and relocation fee incentive. Okay, because that might fall under what's called the statewide rent control. So if they have no city ordinances in place, this owner might have to give 1 month's rent. It depends on whether or not they satisfied AB 1482, which is called the statewide rent control, in which if they did not give that notice, they might be eligible to give or be forced to give them 1 month's rent if it falls under that category. Everything is so confusing, guys. I'm just telling you, there's a video I'll share, but this is provided from CAR and from the Board of Supervisors. So any questions on this? Okay.
No,
I'm-
we're just stunned. We're just stunned, Kelvin.
I know, I'm stunned too. I'm sorry, I know it's confusing, but I'll share more resources that you could read better on your own time. I'm still gathering a lot of stuff because this is also relatively new. But there's some video that I watched that's pretty informative. And I just really strongly advise all of you not to advise what can and cannot be done with the tenants. Because unless you've done your homework or you've double checked with the property manager or an attorney, I'm sorry, who specializes in evictions, then go ahead and get advice. But if you haven't consulted with an attorney, make sure that your client does first before making any actions. All right, talking about that, if you have any rentals, use Rent Spree. It's a really good resource. And let's get on to our new listings, guys. Don't forget, you have 2 days to put in your listings into the MLS as registered, coming soon, or active. Double check with us, if you ever have any questions. It's based on your listing term beginning date or the last final signature, whichever is later. That's the nice thing, at least it's whichever is later. So if you signed a listing 5 days ago, okay, and the listing term was to begin today, okay, today is the latest date. Okay, so then go ahead and you can register today. Okay, Steve Hang has a brand new coming soon. This townhouse in El Monte is only $599,000. This should fly off the shelf because it's about 1,300 square feet. Unit A is telling me that this is only one common wall. So it should be a nice, attractive property, should go quickly. El Rovia Avenue. Talk to him if you have any questions or clients wanting to see this one. Carmen Lee's got a rental for in this First Avenue area of Arcadia. 683 First Avenue. This is a 1,584 square foot condominium, newer construction, $34.50 per month. Not a bad deal. It's only $2.20 a square foot. And Kevin Kahn has a nice little listing over here for sale. This condo is in Hacienda Heights. Wow, it's not bad. It's only $558,000, very affordable. So you got a 1,100 square foot condominium. Should be probably in the hillside area. I'm not actually sure but Forest Glen Drive, space number 181. Congratulations to your new listing, Melissa. She's got 3 bedrooms, 3 baths. I think she's on the call. Melissa, you want to pitch your listing here on Burnett Avenue, number 110 in North Hills? Are you still on the call, Melissa? Otherwise, I'll talk about.
Okay. Yeah, this property is going to come in to the market Sunday because owner is going to do cleaning this week. That's why I don't have any set picture yet. Asking for $699,000. I think it's pretty hot. I have so many calls from the agent want to show the property already. Then if you have, it should be sold fast.
I mean, limited inventory.
Yeah.
You'll get this sold. 700,000 is good. Go ahead.
Yeah. HOA is 210. So I think in the community probably just 30 townhome. This is townhome. And then there is gas parking, very convenient location in North Hill. Okay, I think that's all.
Okay, great. Congratulations, Melissa. I'm very excited. I know you'll get this sold in the first 10 days. Anis has got a listing over here. This is a 1316 Mayflower Ave, Monrovia. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo for 1,051 square feet. And this is a rental. So if you have anyone looking to move to Monrovia, talk to her. And if you want to talk about Cambone Avenue, Walnut, Melissa, you feel free for this single family, 5 beds. Wow.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to update it to leased out soon after Friday. Yeah, or after Monday. I got tenants. The rent is 3,900. I have a lot of applications. I sold this one basically, so I put in market for lease.
Yeah, disclose and help the landlord with the rental. That's a
Yeah,
great way to make
right.
multiple transactions with the same client. Awesome.
Right.
And you also have Triolo Drive. You're on fire, Melissa. Rancho Cucamonga is your new listing you want to talk about.
Yeah, I sold this one as well. The owner living there for 2 months by February 22nd. So after February 22nd, you guys can call me to show. Right now is they are moving out, but I already have a lot of applications. Very, very hot. 2,900.
Okay, great. Happy to hear. And Sylvia, are you here? You want to talk about your new listing on Hesperia on 8943 Hydrangea Avenue? She's on mute right now, so I'll pitch very lovely single family home for 2219 square feet living area, very cute, charming home. It's a lot of good bang for your buck when you're priced at only 460,000. This should reach out to a lot of people looking for a more affordable area or more a big house at a good price. Talk to Sylvia about this one.
Thank you, Kelvin. You did a great job.
Okay. And Julia's got a new listing. Oh, I love this one. I don't know if you guys have been to the new downtown Long Beach, but this is really within walking distance with views. Julia has 150 The Promenade, Unit 519. This is the top floor, corner unit of a Long Beach complex, newer construction, 1,210 square feet for 720,000. Right in the heart of downtown Long Beach. I do know this one has great views. It's in good shape. So you could see your walking distance to the beach. So this is really cool. If you have anyone looking to be near Long Beach, definitely check this one out.
Kelvin, do you have the HOA on this one?
I think it's higher, more than, I think you got to talk to Julia, but this one hit the MLS last night. So if you want to check it out, Julia and I, we work together on the description. And by the way, any of you guys listing agents want me to help you with descriptions or review, don't feel bad. Go ahead and let Sylvia and I go ahead and know if we can help you with reviewing for compliance and or making it really embellish the great features that your listing has. Okay. So we're willing to help you guys. Lawrence Lau has got a listing over here in close. So congratulations on your success, Lawrence. This was a Diamond Bar Morning Canyon property, a single family sold at $1,050,000. Very excited for Lawrence. Congratulations. And congratulations to Adam. He got his 1809 Saks Place Covina. This one is a lease for $2,900 per month. And that's pretty relatively cheap. So good job, Adam. Got a good deal. Margaret Lee just closed right here on Woodruff Avenue. This Arcadia single family sold at 1.225, 1133 square feet, but a good sized lot, 8,000 plus. Congrats, Margaret. And she's been busy. She also got closed on Chino. This 5834 Chino Avenue closed. 7 bedrooms on a 22,800 lot, 3 units sold at 968,000. What a fantastic deal. That's 3 units. That's only 320,000 a door. Danny High just closed on this hot Alhambra listing, 100 Pine Street, number D. I told you this one goes quickly, and it did. This is a 2-bed, 3-bath, 645,000 for an Alhambra condo. That's not too bad. You guys missed out on this one. Huntington Beach, Gina Labelardi just closed over here, 14481 Fairview Lane. For only 1.2 million. That's a good price for Huntington Beach, I can tell you, Orange County. This single family sold for 1218 square feet. I love the dark and light color mixture. So they did a great job on that paint tone. It looks really, really attractive to me. And then the way they did the staggered steps over here on the concrete, it was cute. David Chuck has been busy. He's got 1141 Duarte Road, number G, Arcadia. So this is a condo sold for 663,000. He got this for his buyer, closed, and and Melissa, congratulations on your closing. 20716 Lycoming Street in Diamond Bar. Very lovely and attractive single family home sold for 840,000 for 4 bedrooms, 2 baths. Congrats to Melissa there. And David Chuck also closed 802 Lewiston Street, Duarte. 5 beds, 3 baths, 2,077 square feet for only 820,000. He represented buyer on this one as well. And Lorena Liang, she got 832 South Inez Avenue in Monterey Park. This rental just leased out. It was 1,300-ish square feet in a good section of Monterey Park. So congrats to Lorena. And Sylvia, congratulations to her. She got 1031 Palmetto. This is a rental. I think she just leased it out. So 2 beds, 2.5 baths. She also converted this from a purchase from the buyer and networked in the community and got this one, got another listing over here for lease. So great job. There's a few more closings and sales that I didn't report yet. There's a few things that I know on the works that, so there's a lot more successes that we've had in the past 2 weeks. So I'll share the other ones that got reported recently. Want to wish you guys all enjoy the Super Bowl this Sunday, and maybe have a barbecue or invite your close family friends in and enjoy the great talent and competition. You know, one thing that I want to share in terms of what's going on as how this relates to real estate, and maybe as a little fun way. I mean, if you're really knowing what goes behind the scenes in order for a team like the Bengals or the Rams to make it to the Super Bowl, they really had to start preparing a long time ago. And for those of you who don't know the Rams system and Coach McGay and the really organization, they really built their own team from the ground up. So what did they do? They took players like Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp and a lot of the defensive players like Aaron Donald, and really built from as a rookie and from their off-season squad, developed their own talent. That's very different from all these other super teams out there who kind of just pay a lot of money and hire the best talent. Yes, they put in some good pieces to complement their team, but they really built their foundation of success through their own training. They work hard, they prepare, they have a really strict regimen, they plan, they watch videos and watch films. That's the same thing that you guys should be doing in your own business, guys. You should be watching who's successful out there. You should be watching how they game plan and strategize a specific play. What do we do in a certain situation when we're 1st and 10 versus 3rd down and 1 yard to go? How does that change my my playbook? As a realtor, I have to have my own playbook in the back of my mind. I got to pull a card out at certain times that as a broker, if this client has a motivated need right now, they got to sell. I know I need to have my playbook. I need to price this property very attractively. I need to be able to call my team, get photography, get my painter out there, get some of this and this and that. So that way we can be ready when we're ready to hike the ball or when we're ready to start a listing. If this client needs to really plan ahead and they have 10 yards to go, they have a really plan for how they're going to get that touchdown at the end of the day. You got to tell your buyer or plan ahead. We got to start from now. We got to go speak to a lender. We need to get our credit built. We need to get some credit repair through Scott's guy at the Credit Repair Journey Mortgage. If we need to plan ahead and we got to get our income up, or we got to report our taxes this April, so that way our taxes make sense, so that we can buy after we file and show our income and show this and this and that. There's a lot of things that you can be consulting them on, not taxes, but a lot of you consult them so that they're prepared to buy with you. So if you want to have your players and the team of people, build a strong team on your own. Okay, build your foundation of talent. That way you can make your job easier and you can shine and get the Lombardi Trophy and get the sales and get the awards at the end of the year for co-banker and all the cool stuff that was provided. At the end of the day, no one remembers second place. No one remembers the second best offer. You're only going to get the deal and you're only going to win if you're the one that wins, when you had that buyer and you're the first offer that's accepted. Okay. So my advice to you is go for the gold. Okay. Happy Valentine's Day next week. Enjoy with your loved ones. Don't forget to show some form of thank you, generosity, thoughtfulness, gift, whatever it is that your significant other really values. Okay, you know your spouse then better than I. Consider them, think about doing something nice for them, a gesture, and really build on your family, build on your relationships, because that's something that doesn't go away. You can switch your underwear, you can switch your companies in real estate, and you can switch your people on your team, but you're not really switching your teammate for life. Okay, your partnership. So be grateful for what you have. Treat each other with respect and love and positivity, and we really want to spread that with you guys. So thank you all for being here. Any questions or anything before we end today's sales meeting?
No, I'd like to add a little quote, Kelvin, if it's okay.
Absolutely. Go ahead. You got the floor.
Thank you very much. It's a very simple one. And I've always been a fan of Marilyn Monroe. So I'm going to use her quote. Everyone's a star and deserves the right to twinkle. So everyone out there, please twinkle. Thank you.
I love it. Okay. All right, guys. Enjoy. If you have anything specific or you need any help, talk to our managers. Sylvia's there. Amy's there for you guys. I'm available. So let's just really focus on our business years. I forecast a really good year for realtors. Okay, especially if you're a listing agent. All right, guys.
If anybody wants to farm, give me a call.